So I think we just wanted to kind of touch base and see, I think we made a lot of progress personally since the first meeting, and just wanted to kind of keep the ball rolling. Um, so first things first. Oh, is Michelle here? Michelle Peters?
I'm the call in. Can you hear me, Allie?
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
We need you.
I was having some internet connecting issues and I just said I'm just gonna dial in. It's easier.
Oh, okay, great. And there's Scott too. Good morning. So the first thing on our agenda, or in terms of our group planning, is the walk, the Out of Darkness walk. So Michelle, in a minute, if maybe you want to give us some more information about that, but I know that it sounds like there's a large, portion of our community wants to participate. And then Friday, Dr. Adley and his superintendent communication sent information out to all the parents about it and encouraged people to join. I think that's great. And I
That is
think,
great. Yeah, thank you for doing that. That's amazing. Yeah, we're looking obviously, for participants, as you know, but also anyone who's on the call or has connections to any community organizations. We currently have, I think, 11 or 12 organizations who are tabling there, and so if anybody wants to do that, just reach out to me, and we'll make sure there's a space for you. I believe we're asking people to bring their own table if they have one. If not, we'll get them. It's just hard to rent them and have them stay out overnight there. The park they don't really want us to do that. So that's the only sort of potential issue that people might need to bring their own table, but we can work around that if we need to. So yeah, just to say, if you know anyone who wants to table at that event, just please let me know. But otherwise, you have the flyer I sent you, which I noticed that you sent, and if everyone could also share that, I think that'll help us, increase our participation. So I think that's awesome.
So I wanted to pop in right now just to let you know, CDSP has sent something out to all the schools in Darien, and most of them have included, and Allie knows this, she helped us write the summary on the mental health update. But one of the things we did include was the Out of Darkness walk. So hopefully that'll help get more participants as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all that information. I think that was really helpful. It's great. And there is a group of people, I believe, and Deb, maybe you know more than this, but that Tracy McAvoy and some of her friends, close family friends, they organized a Wave Strong group. So those T-shirts that lots of the athletes and students in school have are wearing. So it'll, in the back it says it's okay not to be okay, and I forget what it says. It maybe says ask for help or something on the front. So the goal is to get a lot of the kids and adults to wear those, and the money goes to the Connecticut chapter of AFSP.
Yeah, I'm actually talking with Laura Bremer, is it, or
yeah.
Bremer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today at 11. So about how they're going to be involved, and yeah, that's amazing. That's Tracy, right? And Tracy will be at the walk as well. So that's wonderful.
If anyone wants one of those T-shirts, I can send you the link. But anyway.
I would love the link. That's great, Allie.
Okay.
And Kids in Crisis will be at the walk, Martha. But what are the hours for the table manning?
Let's see. We're gonna get there 10 till about noon. It actually goes really quickly. We have people coming in at 8:30 to set up, and then registration is at 10. We'll do an opening ceremony close to 11, and then directly after that, people walk. And then we've never had people stay after at any of the walks anywhere. We'd never really do a closing ceremony. So yeah, it's probably 10 to 12, 10 to 12:30. And come early if you want to as well, just to set up.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else about the walk? Okay, I think one other thing, and I don't see Victoria on here, was that we talked about doing the QPR training for Darien, and she did email me after our last meeting saying that she could do it once a month. So now it'll just be a matter of setting up logistics and then making that known to the public. So I just, and she's super busy. well, as all of you are too, but I know she's involved in so many of our, committees and all of that. So that is something I think that just she and I will be able to figure out. And then I'll share it with the whole group, and everyone can share it, with your respective agencies and organizations, and get the word out there. And just like when we get back to doing mental health first aid training, I think as long as there's an interest or a need, we'll keep doing it, as long as Victoria and the Hub are able to offer it. The mental health first aid training, I think I told you that I became certified, and Paula Sutliff, our public health nurse, is going to be certified at the end of October. So then we'll start offering those again to the community free of charge. When I have dates and stuff, I'll certainly share it with everybody. But we're hoping it's sometime in November. And again, we'll keep offering it as long as there's an interest. Because everyone I know who's participated has said it was pretty amazing. What else? So before we get to the Survivor Day, because I know there's a lot to talk about that, a few of you on this call actually offered to help me, or to help be part of the little smaller working group to work on the educational pieces on resiliency for the various age groups and all. So we were just trying last week to figure out a date that worked for all of us, and I think we're just waiting to finalize that. So we didn't make any plans yet, but we are going to start working on that as well.
We actually have a date that everyone could attend. So it's tomorrow, Tuesday, 27th at, where's my Google Drive or my Doodle poll? It's at 10.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you want to send the Zoom link or
Yeah.
or GoToMeeting link, or do you want to use the same one?
I'll just ask. I don't actually do it. Upstairs does the links and stuff, so I'll just call them after this and send it out to us, send it out to the people who want
Okay,
it.
perfect.
So we're gonna get rolling on that one too. And I think our idea from last week or last 2 weeks ago was that we'll have different age groups, right? So you'll have younger, say maybe like preschool through whatever. We'll take your guidance, Georgette and Julianne, but to break it out so it's appropriate for different parents and age groups, and then also have it for teens as well. So lots to think about and plan. But oh, and I don't think that Susanna is on here from Silver Hill, but but we're recording it so we can forward it to her. So I guess, Michelle, the next big piece is that we did confirm November 19th, the Saturday, is going to be the Survivor Day at Noroton Presbyterian Church. So Gary was able to secure that, and maybe you can tell us more about what that's going to entail and what we need to do as a group to prepare for it.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that too. So I've registered it with my organization. I just have to assign someone who's actually going to coordinate it on our end, whether it's, I'll be there, but I think Anne Romano from Silver Hill, who's our board member, she's run them in the past, and I believe she's offered to facilitate it, to help facilitate. So what Survivor Day is about a 4-hour event where really we focus on community healing and hope. We show a video of, I forgot what it's called now. Gosh, I've seen it 5 times. You'd think I'd remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it has to do with survivor stories. So people who, there's 2 different videos, and I can run them by Allie, by you, or whoever's going to be, helping with this event, to see which one. Some of them focus on youth. Some of them are, have, there's a senior version, and then there's also just kind of a generic version with 3 or 4 different vignettes. And then afterwards, the idea is that we break up into focus groups. So usually we do it by loss. So we'll have one person facilitating a group of, parents who've lost their children, another one we had with spouses, and then we have a general loss if people just felt like they wanted to go into a larger group. And what we would need is, ideally, I know there are a lot of clinicians on this group, but ideally a clinician to sort of run that breakout session. It's fully, we have an entire, I don't know if I sent it to you, but we have an entire toolkit that suggests, what questions are asked after the video, and how, kind of lays it out for you how to run it. I've done them myself. Not being a clinician, I really just feel more comfortable having someone who is who can answer some of the questions that I wouldn't be qualified answering, or handling anything that might come up. If we don't have anyone who's a clinician, on running the sessions, I do always ask that we have someone there to have a third or fourth or fifth breakout room that's a quiet room that somebody can go, if they're having a hard time, if they're struggling, just to talk to someone. But if I haven't, Allie, if I have not shared with you that toolkit, I will. And we can, and if anyone who wants to help present this information and lead the breakout sessions, I'm happy to share that. Obviously, I would share that with you too. But I just need to know if there are, how many people we have that will be involved with facilitating, and then we can decide. Then we probably should have a separate meeting for that, so that we can decide, do we want to break out sessions at all? We don't have to. We can do one large group discussion. Often we do wait sometimes until we see who is signing up and, what the mix is. It depends. So those are just some things to start thinking about. And now that it's been registered, I can give you the flyer. We can start actually sending the flyer out to get people to sign up. And then we'll know more, what that mix of loss looks like. And also, too, what I found is that, in the past events, I've had 30, 40, sometimes 50 people sign up, and every time maybe 5 to 10 people show. It's just you never know. And it's hard, I think, when on the day, to actually to show up. So we try to make it, like I said, more about just community. We usually wrap up with some kind of a healing craft idea. There's a list of ideas in this toolkit as well, just to kind of let people, finish on a creative sort of note, and a little bit of networking, and just mixing, with other people. They can just free time to talk and things like that. I also provide, whether we do a breakfast or lunch, I'll cater the food in. So, there's no charge to anybody to attend. The food's prepared, provided by AFSP, as well as all the materials. We just kind of need to figure out, the structure of the day and what kind of activity we'd like to do with everybody at the end. But again, like I said, all of this is included in the toolkit. So anyone who wants to be a part of it, maybe, like I said, we could have another meeting, in the next couple of weeks to go over how we want it to look.
Great. And what roughly are the hours again? I think you said like 9 to 12 or 9 to 1.
We usually do 9 to noon. It's about 3 hours. Yeah. Or I've done, it's up to you if you think it'd be easier, because it is a Saturday. The thought is that people can then, have this way to start their day, day of morning of hope, and then, then they can go on with their day, having had that, meeting. But we have done them in the afternoon, so we could do lunch if that works out better for your community. So it's really up to you, what you think would work best.
Well, what do you guys all think? I mean, whatever you, maybe I think we said the 9 o'clock, right? And then that way people can go on with their day rather than have it be in the middle. That's just my opinion. I don't know what others think.
Yeah, I think it's a nice sweet spot because being that late in November, it's a transition between a lot of sports.
Oh, true.
So kids are going to be shut down from the soccer, but before the other sports start. So I think a Saturday morning will probably work in this community.
Okay, great.
I mean, I'll be there. Certainly, I'm a social worker, and I'm going to volunteer Cynthia, even though she's not here right now. So there's 2 social workers.
That's right. And I think, like I said, Anne Romano from Silver Hill and from our board will most likely be there. And if more people want to be involved, that's awesome. And again, we don't know how many people are going to sign up. And, as we start to see the signups coming in, then we can decide, do we need to have more people? How are we gonna do it? Allie, what are you thinking so far about the structure? Do you think, or anybody on the call actually, do you think it would be best to have the small breakout sessions or one large group sort of roundtable chat? It's really up to you.
So I can chime in. As a survivor, I always thought it was really healing to sit with other people who have experienced the same type of loss. I mean, that is really profoundly, you just feel really connected to whoever you're talking to.
Yeah.
if there's enough people, right? I mean, it's kind
Right.
of how many are you going to have that show up that have lost a child, or how many are you going to have that show up that have lost a sibling? So I think we should probably shoot for that. And if it doesn't work, maybe we could break out groups in more direct loss, like, you know, immediate family,
Right.
in that sort of look. But
Right.
to put you in a group with a parent who then is trying to have a conversation, parent loss of somebody who's trying to have a conversation with a distant friend who may have passed, that
Right.
connection is a little bit skewed. So
Right. No, that's great. That's great input. So that's usually how we do them as well. So I think that's what we'll do. And and again, we can, if we have 20 people, and we can also pivot at the end if we need to. But know that we'll try to separate by loss, and then, like you said, by more direct law. I think that's a good idea. Thank you for that.
Anyone else? I think that's a good idea too. Of course, it depends on the numbers, right? If you only have 10
Right.
people, or if you only have one surviving parent or something like that, you're not, I guess it will really depend on who signs up.
Right.
I just think given everything that's happened in the past year and all the children who have been impacted by the death by suicides, I hope that we see a lot of students and children. So I think hopefully we can anticipate that would be one of the breakout groups because of the loss of the 2 DHS students this past year.
That's true.
And, now that you bring that up too, I want to make sure I should send, Allie, I can send it to you, and then you can send it out, the links to the videos to see which ones, given that there might be younger people in the room, which if any of the videos seem appropriate, and if they don't, we don't have to use them. So I wanted to put that out there too. We can just structure it any way we want, really. But I think that's important to note that there could be. I've honestly never had a Survivor Day with. I think one person brought their son once, and he was 10 or 12. But beyond that, it's been just coincidentally always adults, which is fine to have young people. But I think we have to make sure the videos are appropriate. And I would love your input on that, because I might think it is, and you might say no, for other reasons. So if you don't mind, I'll send those to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Michelle, I'm sorry to jump in again, but I know you're talking to Laura Bremer today.
Yes.
In your conversation with her, I would bring this up. You probably were going to talk about it, but she's obviously got a son has a son who's been impacted, and a lot of his friends have been impacted. So you might want to get her feedback on that too.
Okay, I will. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yep.
If we do end up having a large amount of kids that do, or even people in general that are interested, which would be great. Those of you from mental health agencies, do you think there will be any, I know it's a Saturday morning, but do you think there's any, you'd be able to provide any clinicians, or is that going to be tough if we need them? I mean, if it's a small group, I hate to put you on the spot, or you can tell me later, but if there is a large group, particularly kids, then I would want to see if there's, a group that specializes in working with kids. I mean, Cynthia and I are generic social workers. We're not specific to, certain age groups, but I don't know if that's possible.
Can you remind me of the date once more? To help. Yeah, we have, had occasion to work with 16, 17, 18-year-old around this topic. So we'll certainly provide someone if you need that.
Okay, thanks. November 19th, it's a Saturday.
And remind me again where we're doing it?
November 19th on the Saturday?
No, I'm where?
Oh, Norotan Presbyterian Church in Darien.
Okay. I can certainly check to see if one of the crisis clinicians who's done a lot of the postvention work at the schools can be there.
Great, awesome. And again, it'll depend on, what the numbers are and who signs up.
I can check on that too with one of the Teen Talk counselors, Allie, as well.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Once we kind of get a sense.
Yeah, just in case. Great.
I'm just going to offer too, just from the schools, something that we've done in the past when we've had this happen, or when we've had community events that have happened where there's going to be some type of programming, is that we'll have some of our clinicians in the buildings watch the video also, just also because sometimes the reaction comes up later, And that way they've seen the video, they know what the content was. So if you'd like, we'd be happy to have, some elementary school psychologists, a middle school psychologist, and high school psychologist, take a look at the video sometime between now and November, just so that they know, they can give feedback too, but also just so that they know what kids might be coming into school having seen, if the reaction comes up later.
That's a great idea, Scott. Maybe our clinicians should see it before that day too.
Mhm.
That's a great idea.
Is there a way it could be maybe sent to us?
Michelle, I think you said you were going to send it to me, and then I'll just
Yeah.
send it to the group.
Yeah, the videos should be. I just have to figure out, and I know I can do it because I've done it. I did it last year, but it always takes me a minute to figure out how to get it to you so you can open it. But I will. I'll work on that this afternoon and try to get it to you, Allie, before the close of the day.
Great.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you all. No, this is great. I'm glad you're going to take a look at it. They are, well, to us, I've seen them a million times. We're waiting for new videos to be released, but it won't be in time for this season. Unfortunately, it'll probably be next year. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you think. So I'll send those as soon as I have a free minute to do so.
Great. All right. Anything else anyone wanted to bring up? I don't think we need to meet in 2 weeks, right? Maybe we should meet in 3, which would be right before the walk. Does that sound reasonable? And then we will have met with our resiliency group tomorrow, so we'll have some feedback on that as well.
I definitely think we should probably work on promoting this Survivors Day, because it is a commitment, right? It's the 4 hours of a Saturday morning in town. So the earlier that people can get it on the calendar that do want to participate, the better off we are, and getting participants. So I wouldn't wait 3 weeks before we put this date out.
Yeah, oh no, I'll
send
you the flyer.
Send us the flyer.
I'll send the flyer. Yep, I will. Awesome. I'll do that today.
Perfect.
Okay.
And we'll be happy to share that with our schools through CDSP. So if you get that flyer to me, I can share that out into the school community.
Great.
Perfect.
And then I'll work with Marley, the town's, communications person, to get it out there as well.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, I could forward to some R2R families as well, and Laurel House families, once I have the flyer, and also talk to Jay and see what other options there are for us to help promote it from Laurel House.
Great. All right, sounds good. So if there's nothing else, I guess we can adjourn, and then we'll plan on maybe 3. It seems like this time worked for most people, so we'll do 3 weeks from today, which is what? Today's 26.
October 17th.
Yep. Okay. And I'll send that link eventually as well. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
I'll forward all that information to you guys when Michelle gets it to me, and we'll get to work.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Nice to see everyone.